Well, the Supreme Leader is the chief of state and has ultimate power in Iran. The armed forces, foreign affairs, judiciary and state broadcasting all fall under his authority. The Guardian Council, a powerful group of clerics, also has major influence over politics. But the president does still have some say. He is the head of government, of the cabinet, and the economy and budget also fall under his authority. As the country's chief representative abroad, he also sets the tone for Iran's international relations. Arash Aramesh is Middle East analyst at Stanford Law School and joins us now live from Washington, D.C. So perhaps you can expand on this a little bit and explain just how much power Rouhani has.
Rouhani does have some powers. That's indisputed, that the president, as the highest elected official in the country, has some powers. But again, it is the supreme leader that enjoys the most amount of influence and both legal and also illegal powers in the country. For instance, all the country's armed forces, the police force, all the military and security apparatus, all the coercive apparatus of the country is under the direct command of Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader. The judiciary is also under his direct command as well. Now, even for the cabinet ministers that Mr. Rouhani gets to pick, for some of these sensitive cabinet positions, such as the Foreign Ministry, the Ministry of Intelligence, Minister of Defense, Minister of Culture, Minister of Science and Education that controls the universities, these ministries are going to come under strict scrutiny by the supreme leader, and he's going to have a lot of influence, or he's going to dictate his will to Mr. Rouhani, as he did to Mr. Ahmadinejad in the past 8 years, and as he did to Mr. Khatami from 1997 to 2005.
We heard today Rouhani saying he's looking to get rid of those sanctions, particularly I guess he's looking towards the US. Any indication as to what action he might take to achieve that?
It is unclear what he can do to remove sanctions. Again, if you're familiar with the American structure here, is that sanctions, these congressional sanctions that have been passed in the past couple of years, are not that easy to undo. It is not very easy to get rid of sanctions that has taken years and a lot of political capital and effort by the U.S., both domestically and internationally, to build. Second thing is that the House just passed another round of sanctions against Iran. It passed by 400 votes. That's 400 out of 435. And 74 senators yesterday wrote a letter to the president asking for more sanctions. So there is a lot of support for increasing pressure on Iran. What Mr. Rouhani can do is perhaps try to start the dialogue between the 5+1 and the Iranian government and Iran, and perhaps try to convince the supreme leader to not forbid some sort of a rapprochement with the U.S. Again, it's key, if this is supposed to be resolved in a peaceful manner, it is key that Iran follows and commits to follow and abide by its international obligations. And they have to come back to the negotiating table. They have to sit down with the 5+1 and the United States. So Khamenei, the supreme leader's obstruction here, could be a key impediment for Mr. Rouhani. On the other hand, the way that the American political system operates, it is naive to say that in the next few weeks or months these sanctions are just going to be removed. And it's not even in the hands of the president. President Obama cannot unilaterally get rid of these sanctions.
Very interesting times ahead. Arash Aramesh, thank you very much for joining us there from Washington, D.C.